Welcome back to SoulBack. This is the R&B podcast. Kyle here, back with Ed, and we have Tom as well. What's going on, guys?
What up, players?
What's up? What's up? Who's this other guy here with us?
I don't know.
So we forgot to mention the other person that's with us today. He's a good friend of ours. He's been on the podcast before, our good friend Zeplyn. The only way I can describe him is that he's manifesting his own lane, so shout-outs to my man Zep. What's going on?
What's up, fellas? I am very, very happy to be back. I know we did the Zep's Back podcast a few years ago, so I'm happy to be back again. Ed wasn't on there that time, so I'm happy to, finally get a chance to talk with you too, brother.
No question.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I want to get started, first of all. I do want to bring this up just so we can get it out of the way. All this stuff about George Floyd, it's a horrible thing that's going on right now in America. Thankfully, I'm in Canada, so I don't experience it in the way that you guys do. But Tom and I made a post earlier today. We actually had to think about what we were going to post because we wanted it to be genuine, and we wanted to make sure that whatever we posted, that it was from a good space and that we were actually going to do something and we weren't just going to post and move on from it. So as you can see, Tom and I, he's Caucasian, I'm Asian. We might not have the same experiences that you two do, but we feel for you guys, and we're going to do our part. We're going to support, we're going to donate, we're going to do whatever it takes to better this, and hopefully by the end of all of this madness that's going on, we get to a place where racism doesn't exist and we're all just able to live freely and safely.
100% agree.
No question. And I saw the post, Kyle and Tom, and I know there have been a lot of discussions in the past couple days specifically about who should say something, who isn't saying something. I'm watching who isn't saying something, who's benefiting from the culture, so to speak. And it's important that in an industry that is majority black, we're talking about black music, that those who do enjoy and who are part of the culture serve as voices, because each of you have privileges that the black community does not have. You two have privileges me and Zep ain't got. So to echo the voice that you have and use your platform is very important. And for those who I know they're going to come and say something and be like, oh, what do you got? You're capitalizing culture vulture. I won't go into my culture vulture speech because I've done that 1,000 times. We are not. There's no one that I'm looking at on this screen that's a culture vulture. Instead, I'm looking at a bunch of people who are very passionate about R&B, and because of that, they are also dedicated to the black voices that have stood behind it. So thank y'all for doing what you're doing. If you weren't doing it, I would call you out myself, but I know my boys are always doing what's right. So good for y'all. Proud to see it.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
I double exactly what you're saying. I know a few weeks ago I was ready to go to war for you all, so you already know where I stand on, how you all help and benefit our culture. And, I appreciate you all for everything that you do. And I think that you all are absolutely right for, making the post right now. We need the support from whatever race, as long as it's genuine. We need that solidarity. So I appreciate it.
Much respect, guys.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, let's talk now. I just shared this photo with Tom and Ed on WhatsApp. We got to get you in that group chat, Zeppelin. But
Sure.
I pulled up I found this picture. It was a map of the U.S.
Okay.
And it showed every state's favorite fast food restaurant.
Oh, yes, this thing. We got to talk.
Okay.
So, Tom, you're in New York right now, and it shows that McDonald's is the top fast food chain. Is that true?
That's factual in my opinion. Zeppelin, you lived out here for a while. Would you agree?
Yeah, McDonald's was hot out there for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So then I looked at Ed. You're in Alabama right now, and Zeppelin, you're still in D.C. right now, right?
Yep, DC, Virginia, DC.
So it says that in those regions, their favorite fast food restaurant, and I've never even heard of it, Mode Pizza, M-O-D Pizza. Does anyone know what this is?
I mean, Zep, do you know what this is? I have lived 2/3 of my life either in Virginia or in Kentucky. And Kentucky also had this mod thing. I have never in my life heard of mod. What is this?
I've heard of mod. It's kind of like Chipotle, but for pizza. right? So
really?
I've heard of it. It's fairly in the last year and a half or 2 years, man. But that's definitely not number one. I mean, at least not the people I'm around.
I guarantee you this graphic was created by Mod, because there is no way that this thing... And how is it Chipotle for... You making bowls and you put pizza in it? Like, what is this?
Well, no, it's like the way that Chipotle has the system of, like, you know, you go and you tell them what you want, and then they make
the toppings and crap?
Exactly. It's kind of like that sort of thing. That's what Mod is, Mod Pizza. So, really quick.
It's a lie is what it is. There's no way on earth that is the most popular thing in Virginia. It looked like it was like the most popular thing in the country. How is that true?
It was between Mod and Chick-fil-A. I can see Chick-fil-A being
Chick-fil-A, I can see.
Now, Chick-fil-A, I was about to say, there's only one answer. It's really Chick-fil-A. Now, Chick-fil-A,
the only answer.
Facts.
I'm actually surprised that Subway is nowhere to be found. They used to be huge.
What? Who told you this?
Subway was big at one point.
It's still big, actually.
I mean, it's big, but it would not be the biggest fast food chain in the country. Subway? I'm a Quiznos dude anyway, so toast my bread, dog.
Quiznos. That takes too long, guys. I don't know. I just want the
it
food
does
and get out
take
the
a
door.
long time.
All right. Well, let's move on here. Let's talk about these versus battles that have been going on here, especially last week. We had 112 and Jagged Edge. Zeplyn, from your perspective, just take me through these battles. What have you liked about it, and what haven't you liked about it?
So I'll give you what I like, right? I love the nostalgia. I love the fact that it brings everybody together, and you know that we're all kind of on the same live for one purpose. I love looking at the celebrities and all the artists kind of comments and all that, the throwbacks. I love seeing that. And then just the personal side of the artist, right? We kind of get to see them really a lot more personable. So I love that piece. I mean, you know, the ghost of Teddy Riley seems to haunt a lot of these different, right? A lot of the different versus battles with all of the technology and all of that. So the artists got to get that together. But I saw Swiss and Tim said that they were doing something now where you have to use the technology they send or you can't do it. So hopefully that'll help it, because I think that the 112 Jagged Edge battle got a little janky, you know, at times. and you know, it's just like you got these guys in their, you know, late 40s, early 50s. They don't know anything about this technology. So, you know, I think the tech piece is the only thing, but I love the battles, man. I love the conversations and the nostalgia of all the records and the backstories, too. Those are fantastic. Yeah,
it's a great thing. And I'm going to throw it to you because we talked about this battle last week. I think 112 came out on top just like we thought they would, just their range in their discography. But, man, 112 and Jagged Edge, like two epic groups, I felt like that was such a monumental moment, especially with these versus battles going on. And Jagged Edge, their sound was just, it was not good. It was all staticky. And, you know, I made a tweet. I felt like right now, this is like the best time that these artists have had in terms of promotion since like 2004. You can't possibly drop the ball right now, can you?
You absolutely cannot. And that's why I would wish that we could get some of these artists to capitalize on this momentum. But that's another story for another time. I didn't see the battle, but like I told y'all last week, never question your boy. There was no way Jagged Edge was going to walk away with the W with this one. That 112's first three albums alone massacre most groups of the past decade and a half. It wasn't a contest. And Jay definitely has hits, no question. We love Jagged Edge, but no way. 112 had this one in the bag. The L was certain for them.
But Tom, I got to bring this up with you because I know you're a diehard 112 fan and you're a diehard Jagged Edge fan. You grew up listening to both. When you're watching the versus battle, and one side has 4 members, and the other side has 2 members, that must have ruined the experience for you.
I don't want to talk bad because Mike's our boy.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Slim is our guy.
Shout outs to Mike, yep.
And this is not coming from a place of negativity. We love Q and Duran as well, but man, it just felt like a missed opportunity to where they could have at least reunited for the moment. I know Q and Duran are onto other things, but if you listen to our interview with Slim, he even mentioned the door was open for a reuniting. All he wanted was an apology. I guess it didn't happen. I don't know what's causing, them to still be at odds, but man, a lot of people were confused because people didn't even know they broke up, which is, and people were asking, where are the other members? It's like, damn. But, still came out great, but could have been better, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think with these versus battles, what I want to see is, okay, you have the battle, you get the million viewers. what do you do next? And I see now Jagged Edge is going to put out their album June 15th. So great promotion, obviously, and hopefully people check that out. But Zeplyn, you can start this conversation off.
Sure.
What should an artist be doing to capitalize on the buzz from the Verzuz battle? Because I haven't seen it yet. Like, Usher dropped that record with Lil Jon and Ludacris, and I felt like that was a good start. But can we rely on this platform to really branch off and you know, blow up?
Well, it's tough because, you know, when you're watching a lot of these battles, the fans don't really want to hear new stuff, right? Like, whenever an artist says, I'm about to play my new single, or Nelly plays a record from, like, 2014 or 2015, people are like, nah, play the hits, play the classics. We don't want to hear that, right? So it's really tough when you talk about capitalizing on new things. I think that Babyface did something good where he kind of got on his own live and he did like the Waiting to Exhale 25-year soundtrack, right? He kind of walks people through some of those backstories. So I think it's an opportunity for them to maybe figure out how they can branch into media and content on their own in order to kind of keep fans engaged and folks engaged for when it's time for them to go back on tour, or, you know, maybe even push some merchandise and things of that nature. But as far as new records, I just don't think that the fans, like, that is what people are expecting from them at this time, unless they're coming with like something, I mean, ridiculous, like some super crazy heat, you know? I don't know.
Well, let me add this. Why couldn't they have the album out right before the show aired, and then they could have plugged it the whole show? They had a captive audience of 150,000 or however many people were in there. Yeah. That would have been the biggest promotional opportunity you can get for an album, in my opinion, these days, for free.
Can't hate on that. I mean, it makes sense. Although I will say, and I've talked about this before, I think Kyle and I talked about it a little bit before, I do know that a lot of us are like, just drop the album now. Nobody's doing anything. We're here. But I know a lot of those artists may have had some things already planned when it came to promotion and this and that. And with Corona knocking everything out of the box, there may be some other boxes that need to be checked. But if that is not what's holding you up, I need that album to drop the week before you go on your Verzuz. So when you get on your Verzuz, you can say, hey, go click on this right now. Instead of being like, oh, don't forget in 3 weeks, because this is the internet. They're going to forget in 3 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like, because I just spoke to Harvey Mason, who is like the head of the Music Academy now. We know him as a legendary producer with the Underdogs, and he just made that point as well, that we're going to have to really get creative during these times, because if you notice, not a lot of R&B albums are coming out. I think, honestly, a lot of labels are scrambling to figure out what to do during these times. And, you know, rightfully so, because I don't think anyone expected a global pandemic to happen. But, Tom, I'm kind of with you. I feel like they gotta be creative and find different ways to drop music. And the Verzuz battle, even though, like Zeplyn said, it is mostly nostalgia, I still feel like there's a place for new music to drop on that thing. I'm not sure how successful it's going to be, but like, I'm just trying to think, what other ways can we drop music during this time and have it put out successfully?
Yeah, it's tough.
So, one way to do that is if you announce that it's your final album, which Brian McKnight has done.
Oh, boy.
Well, again, we're very skeptical because other artists have announced that they're retiring and then they come back, a la Jay-Z. Yeah. Tyrese is another one. I think Tyrese is putting out an album with Joe soon. But Ed, if this is Brian McKnight's final album, first of all, do you believe this is his final album? And if it is, what is his legacy?
Do I believe this is his final album? That makes as much sense as putting a screen door on a submarine or whatever the saying goes. No, it's not going to be his final. If it is, okay, but I just never think that it's wise for an artist to say, this is it. Because, I mean, they're creatives. You could get a creative buzz. Something could happen in their life where they feel like they're compelled to, like, create new music. So why put the limit on yourself unless you're trying to make buzz for your new album? Whatever. I think Brian McKnight has a very strong legacy in R&B, and in some ways it's a little underrated. When you look at his era, that 90s era, a lot of times we don't talk about him as much as we talk about the big hit makers. But when you think about consistency from the early 90s, going well into now, dude consistently put out an album like every other year, every 3 years or so. He has continued to build upon that. So for longevity and just being one of the voices that really haven't strayed away from his core fan base, I think we should give him props while he's here.
You know what? I think it is his final album, guys. And let me preface that by saying I believe he'll tour forever. I think he loves touring. But, man, I just feel like his work just goes unnoticed and unappreciated. Like, he's been putting out albums. And Zeplyn, I'm going to put you to the test right now, in fact. Because this is someone I consider a legend. This is his 20th album, Zeppelin. Wow. I want to see how many of those 20 albums you could name on the spot.
Oh, wow. God. Did we do this before?
We did
this. All
Zeppelin
right.
was not here, though. Zeppelin wasn't here for that.
Well, good luck, brother.
Hopefully Zeppelin listened.
So, look, man, I can do Back at One.
No, listen, this is not to call you out or single you out. This is the show that he's gone underappreciated.
I thought that he stopped making music after he put out that like really raunchy song about 10 years ago when he was like, let me show you how your thing works.
And see,
right? So
that's exactly my point.
I thought that was the last song, but I know Back at One, and I'm gonna stop there.
But
as far as album titles go, I don't know the names of his albums, but singles I could probably do differently. But I just know Back at One was really the only album, and I don't want to cheat right now. So
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's my point. You proved my point. Like he goes so underappreciated. He's been putting out quality albums, and I feel like he's probably had enough. He's a smart dude. He's complained in the past about the support. So what's the point?
Yeah.
You
know what he should do though?
What's that?
He should do a track with LMA.
My God!
That'll revive his career right then and there.
My God!
She's the career reviver.
The career reviver.
She's the career reviver. That is Ella Career Reviver May. That is her nickname.
Dude, I could already read the YouTube comments when she brings him with his gray goatee and her video. Can you imagine what they're going to say about him?
Hey, man, she makes it work for everybody she collabs with.
Oh, my God.
So, guys, check out Brian McKnight's new single, Bad. The album Exodus is out. Tom, do we have a release date for that?
Yeah, June 26th.
Okay.
Right around the corner. So, Zeppelin, let's talk about LMA quickly here.
Come on.
For all the listeners out there, this man claims to be the biggest LMA fan out there. LMA is in his top 5 of all times. Of all time?
No, R&B. I think we were talking about R&B. R&B females, I think we were talking about when we said that. She's definitely top 5 R&B females for me all time, for sure.
And is it true that when you go to her show, you're at the front of the stage?
I'm not going to say all that because I'm probably backstage. With that being said.
All right. Oh, wow. All right, let me ask you this, Zeppelin. And you guys, Tom and Ed, you guys chime in on this. But because we've talked about this, but we haven't had you on here, so I'm interested to hear your take. That new Usher, or I guess it's not super new now, that new Usher and LMA record, Don't Waste My Time.
Yeah, I remember when one of you all sent it to me, actually.
Yeah.
Right, I think you sent it to me when I think Brian Michael Cox leaked it before it came out. Yeah, I loved the record. I thought it was a great record.
Hold on.
I thought it was
let me cut you off here. My question is, because I know what Tom's opinion is, Ed I think is 50-50 on this. Did Ella May bring anything to that record? Did she elevate that record? And if it wasn't Ella on the record and it was Tamia, would it be a better record?
So, yes, I do think that she brought an element to the record. She brought the youthfulness that Usher has been trying to reclaim for the last 10 years, right? She authentically brought that. As far as Tamia, I don't know. I mean, she's a great vocalist, but better is such a subjective word, right? I don't think it would have resonated. I don't think we'd be hearing it on radio the way that we do. I don't think the video would have been as lively. I don't think it would have resonated with the millennial, Gen Z, TikTok audience that we're seeing it do, right? So, I mean, listen, they have TikTok challenges based on it. I don't think, I love Tamia, but Tamia's not bringing that edge, right? I'm sorry, she's not. So, yes, I do think that she brought a lot of elements and factors to that record, and it made RCA want to go ahead and put some dollars behind it.
The song is not even being played anywhere besides Urban AC, though. So why did they need LMA to get him a #1 single on the old folks chart?
Well, I think initially they were trying to push it to Urban. That was the goal. All right, that was the goal. Now, whether or not the radio programmers picked it up is on them, but the goal was to get it on regular Urban. Mm-hmm. She's not getting it. No Urban spins on it. Are we sure about that?
No.
Yeah, it's not on the Urban charts.
They went with the other Usher single with Lil Jon for Urban.
Well, that was backwards.
Yeah, I know, right?
That sounds like the label's problem on that. Yeah, they should have switched that.
Zeppelin mentioned this TikTok challenge that Usher is doing. It's called the Sauce Challenge. Have you participated in it?
Play, I'm a grown man. I'm not shaking my behind, shucking and jiving on the internet for y'all. Absolutely not. I did not know that there was a TikTok challenge for this song, so this is news to me.
Yeah.
There is a TikTok challenge for everything these days.
Well, clearly. I just thought that was reserved for that horrible Drake song, the fake Hokey Pokey.
Oh, no, not the Tootsie Slide slander.
The Tootsie Slide. First of all, you misspelled Tootsie Roll. That's number one. Number two, he sounds like he's falling asleep while he's singing the song. Put your left foot out. Basically, I'm telling you, like, dude, if you're not going to be awake, I'm not going to be awake to do this challenge. You put me to sleep.
Best song of 2020.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Best song of 2020.
Usually I have to threaten Kyle with the mute. Now I gotta threaten Zep with the mute. What's going down?
I'm a Drake stan out here, man. Drake and LMA take no slander. I tell
Oh,
you, I'm
boy.
slander for those.
Was Barry Bars not available for this show?
I'm saying,
Oh, man. All right, let's ease the tension here.
please,
Tootsie Rolls. Good candy or bad candy?
trash
candy.
unless you get the flavored kind. The flavored kind hits. The
Yes, I
regular
agree. I
chocolate
agree.
kind that just looks like little hamster doo doo. No, you can keep those.
Agreed.
All right.
I'm allergic to chocolate, so I've never had it.
Damn.
You're
that's
missing
good.
nothing.
Yeah,
That's brutal.
All right. Let's talk about another record here. This is a new one by Neo. We all love Neo on this podcast. He has a new song out with Jeremih. That seems like an odd pairing.
You don't say. I actually kind of like this song. It kind of is a blend of, first of all, any song that samples, and there's been many of them, that samples Juicy Fruit, you know what I mean, it's going to be listenable, because that's like the most sampleable beat of all time.
Yep.
You got that. He kind of throws in a little bit of computer love. And even though Jeremih is not on my Christmas card list, he's not too horrible on this song. I thought it was okay.
Man, when I saw the song and it said Neo featuring Jeremih, I'm like, who asked for this collaboration? And I'm sorry, we love you, Neo, but damn, I just don't want to hear Jeremih on any R&B song of an artist I like. That's my analysis.
Jeremih is not overpowering on this one, so it's
Fine.
not too bad. It's actually a pretty okay song. I like it more than some of the other songs we've gotten from Neo recently. Not bad for a single.
Now, Zeppelin, when we were mentioning Jeremih and Neo, I was looking at you, and you seemed more disappointed at Neo than Jeremih.
What's
going on here?
Man, I think Neo for me is one of those artists where I love their catalog so much, and I just don't want him to put out anything that's going to mess it up. And I've been really disappointed, with the last few projects, if I'm being honest. I get it, but it's almost like kind of when Usher started to make that downward slope. It's kind of like I was good if they would have stopped at their classics. So I haven't heard the record on purpose because I just don't want to. I don't want to take my vision of what Neo represented. He's like my childhood.
Damn.
So yeah, that's my take on it.
So let's agree on this, that in order for Neo to make it back to the top, he needs a collaboration with LMA.
I mean, now if he does that, if he does that, then we already know where that's going. That's straight to number one, baby.
For some reason, though, I'm more comfortable with that than Usher with LMA. I could actually accept that.
I never understand your rules about who can and cannot collaborate. They make no sense.
No, Zeppelin, check this out.
Okay,
Right.
go ahead.
Usher came out in 1994.
Sure.
He's not allowed to collaborate with an artist who came out in 2017 to try to revive his career. It's not fair.
Well,
He
look
should-
though, the Summer Walker record he had really
Nah.
was a huge record for him.
that broke the rules. He should have grabbed someone like Tamia or Kelly Price, like someone, a great singer from his generation. And that's my opinion.
According to Tom, he can only collaborate with the Sporty Thieves because it has to be somebody that came out in freaking '98. Chill out.
That's the rules, guys. You got to stay in your lane.
Sporty Thieves. That's hilarious.
Wait, Tom, Brandy and Chance the Rapper, that's a no-no too?
That's
totally unacceptable.
Baby Mama is a great record, Tom.
No, Brandy should be getting a rapper like the group Camp Low on her track.
Camp Low? What in the world?
Oh, you're trolling. Now you're trolling, Tom. Cut it out.
Actually, Camp Low and Brandy, I would be here for that. Just right? Putting it out there, I would be here for that. They wouldn't get no spins, but I would be here for that.
I have no idea who Camp Low even is, so.
You got to check them
Pray
out.
For the children.
Saturday night, their album debut was fire. Actually,
yes.
I love it, actually.
Speak it, Tom.
I'm sure I wasn't born when their album debut happened. So.
You probably weren't.
No,
definitely. No, I wasn't. No.
It's all good. You can go back and search it up. Another new record here, Robin Thicke, who's been dropping fire singles for the last 2 years, is out with his new song Forever, which he dedicated to Andre Harrell. We talked about the impact of Andre Harrell not too long ago. And Tom, when are we getting this Robin Thicke album? We've been waiting.
It almost seems like he's been dropping great songs and no one seems to really even care or notice. Am I missing something? Have you guys been paying, Zeplyn, have you been checking these out?
I mean, I saw him on the Andre Harrell tribute singing, the Jodeci record, which was a little off to me, but I did see that. I have not. I didn't even know Robin Thicke still made music after Paula, if I'm being honest. I thought Paula was his last project.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Right? Paula was the last project.
That was the last project, but he's had
he's had singles after. No, I didn't know.
A whole bunch of singles, and some of them were good. That song "Morning Sun," remember that?
Did that make I have not forgotten that. That was a forgotten gem of the past few years.
Okay,
yeah,
gotta check it out.
Ed, can Robin Thicke bounce back? I mean, I don't think he'll get to the level of Blurred Lines because that's not even possible just because of how big that song was. But can he make a comeback on Urban AC and be respected?
I think that, and as we talked about before, there's always a chance for a comeback. You are always one hit away. You can go out in the street and murder 18 puppies. If you drop something hot, Twitter will forgive you. So, and honestly, it's been so long since the Paula thing that I feel like a lot of that heat that he got from that is kind of evaporated for a bit. So I don't think that's so much of the issue. I think his biggest thing is to create something and get some buzz behind it. Morning Sun should have been his day back in the sun. That didn't happen. This song, I do enjoy this song. I don't think it's a smash hit. It's a good song. Clearly the talent's still there, but I don't know. I think there's still space for him.
Yeah, I think there's space for him too. But it'll just be interesting to see how he is able to just really come back into the game, especially now. And Zeplyn, I want you to talk about this. Tom mentioned it earlier. Urban AC right now is a mess. You've got Wale on Urban AC.
What's wrong with
Usher
that?
on Urban AC.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, what's wrong? What's the record? The one with Jeremih or the one with Kelly Price?
With Jeremih.
No. Okay.
You had Drake and Chris Brown.
No Guidance?
Yeah.
Great record.
So I don't know if you ever do you ever listen to Urban AC? Urban AC is a mixture of oldies, literally oldies from like the 70s and 80s of R&B, mixed with, and it used to be a station where artists would evolve to once they aged out of the younger stations.
Your BLSs of the world.
Yes, that is an Urban AC station. So once they could no longer be on Hot 97, they aged into WBLS. Now it's just a dumping ground for anyone who wants to get a number one hit.
Well, here's the thing, right? I think that time makes things evolve. And I think that if we continue to hold on to the standards of what radio was, Urban AC was from the 70s and 80s and 90s, we're going to get caught in the past. I mean, TikTok is literally determining what the number one songs are of this year. We've never had that before. And so, I just think that maybe we should relook at what Urban AC actually means in 2020. What should it mean? Should it still have the same definition as it did when, Bobby Brown was out? I'm asking you.
No, the problem. So here's my problem with that, though.
Okay.
The demographic of Urban AC is, 40 plus? I don't know. But people who are listening to Luther Vandross and, I don't know, artists like that aren't necessarily going to want to hear Drake. So
why not? Why not?
Why are you jumbling these artists all together? Because it's a different audience. It's not made for them.
You don't think that hip-hop has really merged the age together? I mean, like, these ages together? Jay-Z's not making music for the youth anymore. When Jay-Z puts out a project, he's making it for folks in their 40s and 50s who grew up with him. So I think that we're seeing
the people who grew up with him.
But I'm saying we're seeing older fans of hip-hop, though. That's the point. And so I'm saying that it's not unlikely that they may enjoy a Wale record because hip-hop has aged a little older. So why wouldn't they like...
Well, he gave two examples. There's some other examples that stood out, like Khalid, who I never even thought was making R&B. They just threw him there so he can get his number one. And, more examples, we could keep going, but my point is, it's just a jumble. You got oldies next to 90s hits, next to Drake, next to Wale, next to Kelly Price's new single. I don't have the chart up, but... Yeah. Whoever else is putting out a single from the, artists from, they have no, the problem is, the real issue is for me, there's nowhere for these artists to go anymore. Like, if major labels are going to take over Urban AC, then the artists who are independent now from the 90s have nowhere to go. It's over for them. Unless they spend the payola that, the labels are spending. There's no format.
Mm-hmm. And Ed, I'm going to ask you this, because Tom just made a good point here. If Urban AC is jumbled with everything, what is the home for all of our favorite 90s and 2000s artists? Do they still have a home somewhere? Because obviously, us as audiences, or I guess we do, but I know a lot of people your age and up, they're not streaming. They're listening to the radio. So is there even a home for a Brian McKnight if Urban AC is a mess?
Well, I mean, there's a lot to unravel here. There is some streaming, but I do think Tom is correct in that the problem is that everything is getting jumbled. It needs to be segmented more. I mean, Zep's point was that, like, hip-hop is something that's skewing older, so it shouldn't be as big of a problem, but that's still throwing everybody into one bucket. There's a big difference between, and I do it when I do my album reviews. If I review Styles P, who had a great album this year, and I'm sure ain't nobody on this podcast heard, compared to a Chance the Rapper, they're both hip-hop. They are completely different audiences. And what we are starting to see is that a lot of these, putting these artists into these boxes, just not working. I think we're throwing everybody into this one category, and it needs to be segmented a little bit more, because there are some people listening to that station, I mean, we'll say this hypothetical station, that will enjoy a few of those older skewing records, but then there's some younger ones like, they ain't gonna get down with like a Jeremih, or even though Wale is a little borderline because he'll have a Kelly Price on the song and that kind of helps elevate it, but
absolutely,
we're segmenting the audience a little bit too much. I think that it needs to be more targeted, and that's kind of hurting the genre overall. When I was younger, they had the oldies station where you heard people who dropped from like 1980 and older. Like, they had their own spot. But now we're kind of lumping a couple decades into one basket, and there are different generations at play, and I think it's not working out too well.
Cool. It's a good point. We'll see what happens as time progresses. Maybe R&B makes a comeback, and it's back on urban radio. We shall see. But I just want to talk about a couple of projects that came out this week here. Ro James, MANTIC. Ed, you talk about this one because you reviewed this album, and let me just say before you talk about it, I had a chance to listen to it, and it's similar to your review in that I listened to it. I first listened to the singles, and I wasn't really feeling it, but when I listened to it as a body of work, like that album is pretty good. Like the order of the track list matters here.
It is and we've talked about it many times on the podcast. Like, we weren't really feeling a lot of singles. Not that they were terrible. They weren't terrible. There's just nothing that stood out about them. They just didn't really, to me, get to the next level. As individual tracks, a lot of them don't work, but as a collective, he really did a great job of creating something that flows from beginning to end. The thing that I argue about all the time here on SoulBack is that albums today just feel like content dumps. They feel like, I'm going to make a playlist and I'm going to drop 39 songs and you're just going to like all of them and pick and choose the ones you want and throw it on your own playlist and have fun and get your little brother to stay up at 3 a.m. playing the song on repeat so I can get a #1 single. Weird stuff. That's not what Ro did. Ro took 15 songs, had a similar sound and theme, put them under one body of work, great sequencing, and as a body of work, the album works. And shout out to Ro. He actually commented on my review, and he actually gave me props because he said that's what he attempted to do here. He wanted to create an album and not just something that has selective singles. And as a body of work, this works. So even though if you heard a song, the Brandy song, and was like, or the Touchy Feely song and was like, listening to it in sequence, it works a lot better. It's hard to describe, but your ear will really enjoy it. Trust me.
Wow.
Solid project.
Zep, let me ask you this.
Yep.
As a young generation, are you your Generation Z?
I am not a Gen Zer, man. I'm millennial.
What are you? You're a millennial.
I'm not
You're
a
a young
Gen
millennial.
Z. I'm like, geez.
Don't disrespect me like that, Kyle.
All right, as a young millennial,
Sure.
that you grew up with. I mean, we're similar in age. What am I saying? But do album reviews still matter to you or to our audience?
I haven't read an album review in God knows how long. I wouldn't even know where to find an album review at.
SoulAndStereo.com.
SoulAndStereo.com.
Oh,
Get your life. That's where you can find a bunch of them. Y'all sleep.
Outside of SoulAndStereo.com. No, I mean, to be honest, they don't. They really don't. The album reviews these days is Twitter, right? It's the comments on the Shade Room. It's what I read on Instagram. Like, that is where I go and I gauge. It's YouTube comments. That's where I go and I gauge opinions if I need to.
Man.
I'm not.
That's like the mob mentality. Like, you're not getting any nuance. And I'm not hype. I'm not gassing myself up. But I'm saying a lot of times when it comes to album reviews, specifically for me, and a lot of people are like, how long does it take you to do a review? It takes like 2 or 3 hours to do a 15-track review. I listen to it 2 or 3 times. I take notes while I'm listening to it. I go do some research for a guy like Ro who has put out all the projects that I want to mention. Boom, 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 get it together. So it's something that you can kind of sink your teeth into. And I know that, like, we're this quick world, so-and-so dropped the album, and then we go on Twitter, see what people are saying about it. They liked it, they liked it. Album must be hot, because Twitter say it's a classic. Or it'll be like,
boom,
it must be trash, because Twitter say it's trash. So I try to go against that and try to give some meat and depth. I know that that's not, nobody wants to take 10 minutes to read a review, but that's how we roll over here. But you're not wrong. Like, that's really how things are consumed these days. And a lot of times, because people just don't take the time to sit down and read something for 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, man. I haven't read a review. I trust my ears and I look at the comments. Those are the 2 things I look at.
Never read the comments.
The comments that are formulated in a 30-second listen.
Yeah, can I add one thing? This is what I love about Ed's reviews. I often learn something after reading Ed reviews that I might have missed when I checked out the album for myself, because I consider Ed an expert, and his reviews are always on point. And along with that, you know how many of these hot takes I see from bozos who listen to an album and have a review 30 seconds after the album even drops? Like, come on. This is Ed's stuff is on point. It's quality. It's not a hot take. You know, so Zeppelin, man, SoulAndStereo.com.
All right, respect.
That's the plug.
All right,
Get the plug in. But yeah, Tom, nothing drives me more crazy than these. I mean, it's a thing now, like reaction videos and one-take reviews. There is no way, if I listened to that Ro James album in one take, I probably would have been like, oh, this alright. But when I went back through it and dissected, I was like, okay, this is really good. And I'm sure that when he put in those hours and hours and hours of man-hour to put in an album, he wants something more than somebody to skim through it and be like, oh, it's whack. Give the man some credit. That's what I try to do.
Well, let me say one more thing. For you, Zeppelin, you're also one of my most respected ears. So I don't know if you're necessarily the target audience of a review because you have such a great ear yourself. So, I mean, everyone on this podcast right now are some of my most trusted people when it comes to music. You guys all know your stuff. So there's people out there who could really definitely take something from album reviews like Ed's, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're going to talk about one more project, and then, Tom, I think you have a R&B trivia. I don't think you were ready for this, Zeppelin, but we're going to do an R&B trivia here shortly.
Sorry.
And before we get into the next project, which is Lucky Days, I just want to mention what I've noticed is that whenever someone does a hot take on Twitter, they just get blocked by the artist. But when when Ed does a hot take, he doesn't get blocked by artists. They just cuss him out like publicly. If it's like a 4 out of 5, he still gets cussed out. So
it's crazy, and I kind of love it. I kind of love when an artist like gets mad at me, and the first thing they say is, "This is well written," but I'm like, well, okay, you just gave me props off top, so whatever you're gonna say is cool. So it's cool.
Yeah, which makes me then think that maybe Tom made a hot take on Janae's single, and then we got blocked.
Yeah, what was up with that? Did you ever figure out why you were in the doghouse with Janae?
Never did.
You got beef with Janae, man?
Yes, they beefing with Janae.
She blocked us.
Who beefs with Janae Aiko? She's such a beautiful spirit, man.
We don't know what happened.
What didn't you like? What, you didn't like the project, Tom?
No, I think what happened was Keisha Cole got in her ear, so then she blocked us. Cause Keisha
you got
Cole
beef with Keisha Cole too?
Oh, Keisha got beef with everybody. That's another thing.
We never did anything. I don't understand.
Yeah. We also had beef with Pleasure P, but he unblocked us, so we're good.
Oh, man. Mister, I did you wrong. Okay.
So, shout-outs to Pleasure. No shout-outs to Keisha or Janae until they unblocked us.
Man, I love Janae. Shout out to Janae, man.
No, Keisha's cool with me. Keisha supports Soul and Stereo. We all right. I don't know why she hates y'all, but she's cool with me.
I wish I knew. Lucky Daye's new album, or it's not even a new album, but he dropped the deluxe version of Painted. Didn't Painted come out like last year? Why is he dropping a deluxe album a year later?
1 year to the date. Artists is trying to find constructive ways to still put music out, right, Zeppelin? Just re-release the album.
I mean, I love the song with Babyface, though. Did you? That's such a beautiful record. I love the way they did the sample, and Babyface, he doesn't overdo it, but he just fits in perfectly. I love that record. And I like the live one that he did, too. Like, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like live from New Orleans.
Misunderstood.
Oh, man. I thought that he did great. And, Tom was the first person to tell me about Lucky Daye a few years back, and it took me a while to get hip to him, but, he's such a consistent artist, so he's good. Great music maker.
Ed, you've heard that Lucky Daye and Babyface record. So let me ask you this, because we're about to get into this trivia, which I believe will be predominantly 90s influenced. Mm-hmm. Ed, on that Lucky record with Babyface, they used the Toni Braxton record for the chorus. Is that considered cheating when you use a 90s record for your chorus?
No, it's not considered cheating any more than all the 90s records we love using a 60s record for a chorus. Like, there is some good strategy there. I mean, that is one of my favorite Toni songs ever. Maybe one of my favorite songs ever. So, of course, I'm going to be like, oh, that's my joint. So I'm going to automatically give it some love, and that gives it a little bit more... I give it a little bit more attention than I probably would have because of that. I'm not mad at it as long as it's done well, and in this case, it's done well. To Zeppelin's point, Babyface is there. He's not overpowering. It's familiar, but it's not a straight-up bite like some of the Chris Brown joints. What was the joint that he took? I Love Your Smile. That one still gets on my nerves. They just stole that. But it's a great sample. He works it in well. It's new and fresh, and Lucky never misses. Name a whack Lucky Daye song. I'm waiting. You can't.
Undefeated. Now, Tom, it's time for our R&B trivia, which I think you had ready for us now. So let's go through this trivia.
Oh boy.
I've been waiting all night, guys. First of all, Kyle, you were wrong. This is actually 2000s flavored trivia.
Wow. Oh, Kyle, you got a chance.
Ooh.
Actually, secondly, Kyle's not involved, unfortunately. This is Zeppelin and Ed.
Oh,
they can work as a team.
Is there a winner?
There is a... Yes, there is a winner.
Okay, cool. I just want to know.
What's the prize going to be? I have enough grilled chicken, Tom. You can keep that.
You get a mod pizza.
We got mod pizza.
I'll take some mod coupons. Yes.
So what is it? Is it myself versus Ed? How are we doing this?
Hold on, let me break it down.
This
is two parts. The first part is you guys are going to go back and forth. Whoever can't name an artist in 5 seconds, that's the loser of this round.
Okay.
Right.
So your challenge is, and Zeppelin, you start.
Okay.
You both have to name an R&B group who came out in the 90s. I mean, sorry, the 2000s. So go back and forth until one of you can't name one.
They have to have a debut. They had to debut after 2000.
They debuted in the 2000s.
Okay. All right.
All right. And you get 5 seconds if you can't think of. You want? Let's make it 10.
All right, and, let me toss the coin so we can figure out who goes first.
I like 5 seconds. All right, let's go.
You want to do 5? I feel like 5 is tough.
All right, we'll do 10. We'll do 10.
All right. Am I tossing the coin?
Yeah.
All right. I don't even have a Tom, do you have a coin? I don't have a coin here.
I don't have a coin.
No. I'll go first.
All right. You don't have any coins? What's wrong with you people?
All right, Zeppelin, go.
All right, Pretty Ricky.
God.
That's a gray area.
We'll take it.
All right. ISIS.
Wow.
Cherish.
No.
Ed, we're at 3.
No, I know, and I have to think. That's how hard it is. Day 26.
Yes, good.
B2K.
Oh, God.
That's done.
Yeah, I think I might be done. 3LW. I think they came out in 2000.
Yep.
3LW 2000?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. B5.
Oh, that's a deep cut. That's a deep cut.
Ooh. That's a deep cut?
Yeah, I would not have thought of B5.
We got Stans attacking us for not mentioning B5 more.
That's a whole other issue right there.
Is that actually it? Are there even any others?
Yeah.
There's some more.
You guys missed my favorite.
There's some more.
Danity
Kane.
There you go.
If Kyle had not said that, I would not have thought of that.
That wasn't 10 seconds. All right.
Yeah, that technically was 10 seconds.
That was 10 seconds. I'm like, yeah, I am tapped out.
Kyle, you got any others?
I got a couple. I thought of one.
You guys forgot my favorite group, Brother. You guys remember them?
Chill out.
Come on.
I was gonna mention King because they're 2010s, but it's
Yeah.
after 2000.
Oh, so can we do 2010s?
No.
I didn't. Oh,
No.
okay, gotcha.
I don't think there aren't even any groups from 2010.
We'll
King and Chloe and Halle. That's about it.
Yeah,
We'll call this one a draw.
Okay,
even though I
fair
think
enough.
Zeppelin technically won, but
Wait, how did Zepp technically win here, player?
That Danity Kane took a while.
yeah.
It's called processing.
This is
All right, what's next time? What's the
this
next
is rapid
shit?
Next
fire.
up.
Ed.
All right, this is the rapid fire round.
Okay.
I'm going to name an artist, and Zeppelin and Ed, the first one of you to name this artist's first single they ever released is a winner.
First single.
But
All right,
we have 6 artists.
all right. What's the era? 90s or 2000s? Where are we going?
2000s. We're doing all
Okay, cool.
2000s.
All right, that helps. Okay, cool.
Ready?
Yep.
Lloyd.
Southside.
Southside.
That's Ed. That was correct, Ed.
What? I did the Southside.
I heard Ed first.
I hit it first, player. I hit it
All
first.
right.
Oh,
man.
just like Ray J, I hit it first.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Next is Neo.
Stay.
Crap. Yes.
Yep, correct.
Nope.
I was going to say
Featuring-
the Petey Crack song.
Yes,
Petey Crack.
featuring, yes. Next is Nivea.
Don't mess with my
Yes.
man.
Nope, it's not that.
Wait, it's not?
Nope.
It's not Laundromat.
Nope.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Kyle?
Isn't it Don't Mess with the Radio?
Oh,
Correct.
yes, that's right.
With the green hair?
Cheap.
Green or
that was
purple hair?
that was a cheat. Yes, that was a good one.
Yeah,
It is Don't Mess with the Radio.
I only know 2 Nivea songs in general.
Ouch.
So.
Next up is Jasmine Sullivan.
Need you back.
Yep, correct.
Jeez.
Damn, that was
I need
fast.
I know. Why was he so fast with that one?
Next is Trey Songz.
Gotta go.
Wait, what?
Is it gotta go?
No,
No.
it's Gotta Make It.
Yes, correct.
I thought that's what he said.
He does have a song called Gotta Go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the second single, I think.
That was a great song.
All right, so this is like the tiebreaker?
Yep, last one.
Okay.
All right.
Melanie Fiona.
It kills me. No, that's not it.
No.
It's a hard one.
I know this one because they played it heavy on at Canadian radio stations.
Melody Fiona.
What's that song? I can see the video in my head. My wife loved it. I don't know.
Thomas, the song that samples the old song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, I give up.
You gotta give us another one, Tom.
Pick another artist?
Yeah, for a tiebreaker.
Hold on, the
Well,
song
no,
is
what's
Give
the
It To
song?
Me Right. The song is Give It To Me Right.
Yeah, that's it. I know it.
All right. Ready for the tiebreaker?
All right.
Yeah, so,
Glenn Lewis.
Oh, come on now. Don't you forget it.
who the hell is Glenn Lewis?
Oh, my
Who the hell is Glenn? No.
Kick him out.
Canadian.
Kick him out.
He's the Canadian
Kick
Stevie
him out.
Wonder. Come on.
Hold on. Where's my Glenn Lewis? He's right over here somewhere. I'm going to pull it out. The album out.
You actually have it?
Yes.
You have it?
I'm going to find it. It's right here.
Zeplyn, I'm
Zeplyn, that's your
disappointed.
homework, man. That's your homework. Neo Soul right there. What does he put?
Wow, a CD.
That's great, man.
CDs still matter.
Mail it to Zeppelin, all right?
Wow.
Yeah,
That's his
please.
homework.
Are we all done
All
with
right.
trivia?
We're done with the trivia. Good job, guys.
So, Tom, Ed actually won one?
Wait, what? I always win
Yeah.
these.
No, you usually get like 3 out of 5 or 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. When did I ever get 2 out of 5?
I mean, Zeppelin, can you name 3 members of ISIS? That was a question I asked him that he failed
I
on.
have no idea who ISIS is.
I was going to say, if Zeppelin knows ISIS, I would be shocked.
I have
Wait,
no
Zeppelin.
idea who ISIS is.
2002, how old were you?
8.
Ugh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you
No,
wouldn't know. You
10.
wouldn't know.
10.
ISIS.
I was
10.
10.
2002,
Still no.
I was working at my first career. I am a
Still-
grandpa.
Church's Chicken? Church's Chicken Delivery Man?
Church's Chicken Delivery Man.
How
First of all, what do you know about churches? They don't sell
I have
anything
no idea.
grilled.
Yeah,
All right. Are we ready for the Playa Please Award?
Well, Tom just nominated himself for that.
Wow. I saw this on Twitter. I found it kind of interesting here. The Jagged Edge record, Let's Get Married.
oh, no.
There's this huge thing going on Twitter right now that apparently that song is about settling.
Oh.
Playa.
We're not
I
getting
need-
any younger. We might as well do it.
I miss, speaking about old times, I miss when we had nuance. I miss when we had context. There is one line that's about settling. The whole song is not about settling, people. Stop picking one line and making that about the whole song. This song is not about settling. It's just one suspect line.
Also, people just realize this like 25 years later.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, why are
an
they bringing
old
this
song.
up now? Zeppelin, you ever heard of Jagged Edge?
We talked about those guys earlier. I'm just looking at the lyrics, to be honest, and saying if it feels like it's about.
It's not about settling.
I
Don't,
love how we're analyzing this now.
that's
And this
because
year.
that's what think piece culture does. Let me find something people used to like and find something wrong with it.
It doesn't feel like. I mean, I never thought of it as a settling song.
It's not.
It's one of my favorite Jagged Edge records. I never
Oh, yeah.
looked at it as settling.
Wait, is the original better or the remix?
It depends on the setting.
There's no
Depends.
no. It's a this or that. There's no.
No, I mean, if I had to get rid of one, I'd probably get rid of the remix, just because
All
I
right,
feel like
I'm
I
with
only
you.
listen to the remixes at the party. But
No,
true.
you know,
No.
yeah.
Ed, are you a remix or an original guy?
I was about the original, but the original was so overplayed. These days, I kind of really listen to the remix more, but I get down with both.
And then Tom, there's a Kanye remix too, right?
I actually found that in the past few years, it's actually pretty good.
I
There's
don't
a few
remember a
remixes to
Kanye
that, yeah.
remix.
Is he rapping or did he just produce it?
He raps on it, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he raps on it. And then Ed, the other song that people have been analyzing is "So Anxious" by Genuine. So Genuine starts off by saying it's 9 o'clock, home alone, and then the second verse he says it's 10:10, where you been? And people are saying that Genuine's being a little too clingy. It's been an hour and he's already
Oh, my
hitting
God.
her up again. This is what Twitter is telling me.
I thought you were going to say something like they were saying he was being rapey or something.
That's what I thought. I was waiting for us to cancel Genuine. Now, wait a minute. Tell me again, Kyle, what's wrong with this? It was 9 o'clock when the song started, and it was 10 when he asked where she was?
Yeah.
The way y'all blow me up on my text, if I don't answer a text in like 5 seconds, you're like, are you getting this? Where is this? He waited an hour. What else do you want from the man?
Oh.
Beats me.
I don't know.
We should do more of this.
And he said he was anxious. Like, he did not say, I'm so patient. He said, I'm so anxious. I think he gave it an hour. He was being very considerate here.
Yeah.
And while we're taking down Genuine, let's take down Static Major, too. We're going to march to his grave with pitchforks and all that. He wrote the song, so he's got to pay for that, too.
Well, if we cancel him, we got to cancel every song he's ever done. That's what Twitter told me. Clear your conscience.
Is R. Kelly? Did you all cancel R. Kelly on here?
Ooh.
Oh, God.
We're gonna ask
how many hours we got?
Oh.
Well, I'll start this off because I've had R. Kelly fans go at me on Twitter like crazy.
Okay.
Luckily for me, I never, and this might be a cop-out answer here, and I'm going to stick with it. I was never really like a die-hard R. Kelly fan growing up. Like, I liked his music, but I never really connected with any of it like that.
Okay.
So,
you hitting on what I'm about to say, Kyle.
It's not that I've canceled him. I've just never really listened to his music to begin with. Now, if Ignition plays, or if I Believe I Can Fly, which, was that even on the Last Dance documentary? I don't think it was.
No.
It wasn't, right? Yeah, which is weird. But, like, if that stuff plays, it's not like I'm going to turn it off. But am I going to,
Are you going to post his new song on our site, is the real question.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man, that's... You know, we've done that. We posted his last song that he...
we lost some followers.
Oh, you don't remember this?
We got mad.
This was
People
a
got
thing.
mad. So, have I muted him? I don't know if I've muted him, but I don't listen to him to begin with. I do think Same Girl with Usher is like a top 5 of all time. Zeppelin, you can agree with me on that. I see him nodding.
I can disagree with that strongly.
I don't know about top 5 all time, but it is a very classic record for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a classic record.
Classic, okay.
Please.
It's a classic.
Look here, player. I think, Kyle, you kind of hit on something, and get ready to cancel me, because if you have beef, I haven't even done this whole episode. Send your hate tweets to E.T. Bowser on Twitter, because this is where I go to get canceled. I will gladly ignore you there. So, Kyle hit on something. A lot of, this is not just me, just hyperbole. This is me talking to people of a certain age and generation when it comes to R. Kelly. A lot of people who are screaming, cancel the man, don't really have a lot of skin in the game, because like Kyle said, they know R. Kelly, but the music doesn't really connect with them. They can be like, okay, I recognize he has good songs, but it's easy for them to cancel. That's why I do not subscribe to cancel culture and yelling at people for not listening to something. It's easy for you to not listen to something and cancel it. How about you cancel Tootsie Slide? I bet you ain't canceling that. You are going to cancel something that's you connected with. I have said a million times here on Soul and Stereo, on the Soul and Stereo Cypher on Facebook, wherever you see your boy. I've said it a million times. Canceling should be a personal thing that you do. It's a personal decision. If you can listen to a song and it doesn't affect, and it affects you, and you can't. My wife does not listen to Chris Brown because of his stuff. And for her decision, she ain't going to listen to him. Now, if she catch me listening to something, she's not going to cuss me out. She's just going to remove herself from the conversation. So if you want to cancel it, that should be your decision. However, R. Kelly stands, you should also not, because there's some guy who sang a song about a Jeep that you liked in 1995, say that he should be cleared of every allegation. He has to be an innocent man because he made a song about feeling on your booty. That's not how this works. Every accusation should be treated seriously, like it was your own mama, sister, grandma, and we move from there. As far as his music, if you want to support, cool. If you don't want to support, cool. Just don't give the man a pass because he made good songs. Treat it like he should be treated, and every accusation should be treated seriously. You can listen to him if you do or you don't. I don't care. Just make sure that justice is served. That's all your boy is saying.
Good point.
Good take.
Now,
it's kind of sad, though, because a lot of the people who still support him in my interactions with them on Twitter, they don't have a profile picture. Like, they won't even show their face. And on top of that, they search his name in Twitter.
Yeah.
And come at you. You don't even mention them. They don't even follow you. They'll just come out the woodwork and start attacking you. You don't even say anything bad. Mm-hmm. So it's like these people are looking for trouble. I mean, damn. I just don't like that. Like, they can't even understand why we wouldn't support him anymore, or why someone would have a different opinion of them. That's the problem to me.
Because they're idiots, Tom. I have learned from my mistakes. Never argue with someone who has no profile picture and their name is filling on your booty 837. Like, you're not a real human. Like, do not waste your time.
Wow. Now, the next Playa Please, and I think we're almost out of time here. We've been going on for quite a bit. But, Tom, you'll love this one. You love DMX, right?
I do, actually.
You better.
I still remember
that.
Yeah.
I remember when he had 2 platinum albums in 1 year.
That was a big deal, player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 6.
All right.
All right.
You were still in diapers then, right?
6.
So, DMX was talking about some of the best lyricists in hip-hop history, artists who have given us some great punchlines. Mm-hmm. Someone mentioned Lloyd Banks, and DMX started going off and said, why would you mention Lloyd Banks? What has he done that's so memorable? And then Lloyd Banks got upset, and then DMX retracted the statement and said, oh, my bad, I thought he said Tony Yayo. Did we buy this?
It's believable.
I mean, it's kind of messed up. It's not. Is it believable? I don't know.
No.
It's very believable for DMX. Yes, it's very believable.
I can't name more than 3 Tony Yayo songs.
Tony Yayo is terrible. We are not going to debate the greatness of Tony Yayo. This is garbage.
So Seductive was a fantastic record that 50 Cent helped make.
Wow. Seductive. I have not heard that song since 2005.
Again, there's a reason for that.
Wow.
Wait, Zeppelin, who are you siding with in the beef between Fat Joe and 50 Cent?
I wasn't really. I didn't care. Are they still beefing, or you mean like back in the day?
No, back in the day. Because that was big. I remember that being big.
I didn't really. I was too young to even really know Fat Joe's catalog, and probably so nobody. Yeah,
he's still too young to listen to Fat Joe.
Do you even remember the Jay-Z and Nas beef?
No, I had to go back and research it.
Damn.
I don't really remember it as it was going on.
You read about it on Wikipedia, Ed. Isn't that fun?
No, I mean, I went and I listened to the Hot 97 interviews, and I listened to the records. I was a Nas fan first, to be honest. So I think I heard Ether before I heard Takeover, and I was just like, "This is amazing." So
I'm just struggling that you had to research it like it was the French and Indian War or something. Good.
I mean, to me, it was right. Like, I mean, that's like researching Pac and Biggie's beef. I don't remember that.
I respect that. I respect it.
Yeah.
I remember when Nas came out. I can't remember. No, it was Memphis Bleak who came out with the song that was kind of like side-eyeing Nas. I was like, wait a minute, is he talking about Nas? This was big stuff back in the day, trust me.
Yeah.
It built up like the Infinity War because you just saw it building and then it was just on. It was the best, worst thing ever.
All right.
And no social media either, so it was even better.
Speaking of big things here, let's quickly get into the SoulBack track of the day since we have Zeppelin here. Can we give the SoulBack track of the day to LMA's Boot Up? Which, are you considering that a classic at this point?
It was a classic the moment it dropped.
Oh my God.
With a straight face.
Wait, like the moment it dropped, like when only 3 of us knew the song, or like when it hit radio?
2017, Boot Up was a classic. Yeah. Absolutely.
Back when it was like number 33 on our top songs list.
Unequivocally thought you all made a mistake that year, and I thought you all made a mistake the next year when she wasn't in the number 1 spot.
He was waiting all day to do this.
Yeah, he had this one saved up. He had it in the chamber.
Oh yeah, that was an instant classic, 2017. To be honest, probably the most memorable R&B record of 2010 through 2020.
Bigger than Adorn?
It's
Absolutely.
close. I would say it's close.
Absolutely.
It's top 5 for the past decade as far as memorable. I will give you that, but I won't give you anything else.
Wow.
It's gonna age the best, I believe.
Yeah,
I believe it'll age. I believe it'll age the best. But
I would say Love on Top.
We put a list out of
Adorn.
this, by the way. If anyone check that out. Best songs of the 2010s.
Well,
Where was Boot Up at? If it wasn't number one, I don't want to hear it.
You know, I definitely knocked that down a few notches intentionally because I want to hate on it.
Listen,
Yeah, I would say Love on
haters
Top.
gonna hate.
Love on Top, Boot Up, Adorn. Suit and Tie is probably up there.
Yeah, Suit and Tie was up there. I'm trying to recall we did this list. I can't remember. I know Suit and Tie was on it. Boot Up was there. Boot Up was top 10.
Lines, I would say Blurred Lines is that
Blurred
one.
Lines was top 10.
Yeah.
So 3 of those 5 to me feel like pop records.
Oh, we don't have enough time to go through all that.
Oh my, yeah.
You all don't like you all don't just place Beyonce and JT in the pop category like at this point.
No, because it depends on the song. One thing, they make pop songs and then they make R&B songs. Like it's a difference.
So when Miley Cyrus puts out a record, is that and it has a hip hop feel? Is that a hip hop record?
It depends on the record, but probably not.
Well, if it has the hip hop tone to it, she's rapping on it. It has the remember the Juicy J Wiz Khalifa song that she put out?
That was a pop song with some rappers on it. That don't count. No. Like there are songs you can make a pop song with a hip hop feel, and you can make a hip hop song. I ain't heard no hip hop song from that child.
All right, that's valid. What happened to the guys? Did they go away? I only see you now. Not that I have an issue with that, but
no, they're still. I'm still looking at them.
Oh, there they go. Okay.
All right. You thought we kicked you out?
I thought you kicked me out, man.
So Zeplyn, we'll end this conversation on a cliffhanger because we might have to have you back for the next episode.
A cliffhanger?
Is Tory Lanez an R&B artist?
Oh my god!
Stay tuned for the next episode for that answer.
I got a whole hour to talk about that one.
Do you want that answer?
Just give me a yes or no.
Tory Lanez is top 5 hip hop artists of this generation.
Yeah, but is he an R&B artist?
R&B artist of this generation.
All right, it's time to wrap this thing on up.
All right.
Top 5 R&B artists.
Hold on. I have
Maybe top
one.
3.
Can I throw one out there? Where is Post Malone in the rankings of R&B and hip hop?
No, he's not an R&B artist. He's a pop artist.
Didn't he start as a rapper?
Yes, he started as Post Malone isn't in my top 5 human beings. I don't know why we're talking about Post Malone. I'm not sure.
Post
no,
because
I heard his song on radio, on pop radio. It was actually like
he's a pop artist.
But so, in the beginning, he was like hip hop.
Yeah, I mean, he started out as a hip hop artist that crossed over. Like artists move over all the time.
I don't know if White Iverson wasn't really a hip hop record to me. It was kind of like a little swaggy type new school type record.
All right.
He always had crossover appeal to me.
All right. I'm still upset that you said Tory Lanez was a top 5
top
R&B
5
artist.
Yeah, top 5 of this generation for sure.
Where's Jacquees then?
He's top 5 as well of this generation.
You got a generations and very bad.
What kind of generation you got? Well, you got Jacquees and Tory Lanez. Where's Jeremih? Is he like your Luther Vandross?
No, Jeremih. He's one of the old heads at this point, but he's a great artist. But he's,
all right.
Jeremih's a hit maker. If you want a hit, you put Jeremih on your record.
Oh yeah,
or hit
maker. Him and old Ty Dolla $ign. Boy, look at the hits.
Oh, come on now. Don't come at Ty Dolla.
Oh, I'll come.
You look...
So those 4 and our boy Kevin Ross, and that rounds out your top 5?
Yeah, that part.
Well,
shout out DC, though. Shout out DMV.
Kevin Ross is our boy, man.
Kevin Ross, I mean, broken clock is right a couple times a day. He got that one. The rest of them, throw them in the trash.
Oh. All right. So earlier in the podcast, I said that Zeppelin was manifesting his own lane. I'm not sure if he is anymore. I'm kind of confused by this whole conversation. But we did need to highlight what Zeppelin's doing, aside from being on this podcast and talking crazy. So, Zeppelin, what are you doing right now during this quarantine?
Absolutely, man. I mean, during the quarantine, I have been taking a lot of time of reflection. So for those who don't know, I own a media and a production company down the DMV area called the Neo Elite, and we produce different content for millennials and Gen Z. A lot of music-based stuff, performances, and we work with a lot of the top artists out of this area, R&B and hip hop. And so it's been a good time just for kind of reflection, just for kind of preparing for the rest of, the year and the 2020s. That's really been what a lot of what we've been doing during the quarantine period, just making sure that we're prepared to execute extremely effectively afterwards. We're also working on a at-home concert, a benefit concert with all of the top artists, from this area. That'll be coming out around July. So we've been working on producing that. And we're giving, all the money to charity and that sort of thing. So, man, just trying to stay sane and continue to figure out how we're going to push this music and this content thing of ours forward, as we move forward in this decade. But thank you all for having me on here. I really appreciate it. I'm a huge fan, as you all know. Thank you all for putting the podcast up. I listen to those daily. And, man, I really appreciate what you all do. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Zeplyn, before you get out of here, we got to hear what Ed's working on. You just put out the Ro James review. And, Ed, I'm still waiting on the love letters that we talked about a couple of weeks ago.
Which one was that?
This is the one. I'm going to quickly read this out. Zeplyn, I want your input on this one.
Okay, all right, let's go.
I'm deeply in love with my wife, but several years now I felt the need to see other women. Do you remember that one, Ed?
No, I remember it now.
Did you write this, Ed, or is this somebody who wrote this to you?
No, they write it to me. I don't write them. I am the voice of reason when they send me these crazy questions.
Okay, gotcha. I was about to say, I don't know if this is the best platform for you to be...
So, Zeplyn, let me break this down for you, and Ed will give us his insight, or he'll maybe write a post about it.
That'll be a post.
You know the song Donnell, Where I Want to Be by Donnell Jones?
Lovely song, man. One of the best.
So with that, Donnell wants to see other people because he's still young. So in this scenario, this man who was married to his wife felt the need to see other people. So he broke it down to his wife and said, I think we should be non-exclusive so you can see your people, I can see my people, just to explore our needs. Fast forward a couple of months, this girl has tremendous luck with many, many different guys. She's on a date every single week. Whereas this guy who wanted to explore the world can't get it in with anybody. He's not successful at all. And the issue now is that because there is a quarantine and they're not actually able to go out, the wife is saying, well, I don't think this should count as that time that we were allowed to see other people. Like, there should be a reset once the quarantine is over.
What?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, my God.
That is hilarious.
Well, I am so glad that I have my jersey is hanging in the rafters. I am retired from the pimp gang. Y'all can have this. I am happily married and done with this stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna gracefully bow out of this conversation so that I don't incriminate myself in any possible manner. This is my bow out.
Yeah. Wait, Tom, isn't there a part 2 of Where I Want to Be on the Life Goes On album?
There is. Yes, there
what
is.
Happens in that song?
Also another good record.
What happens in that song?
He apologizes for leaving her, actually.
Oh, okay.
Well,
where I want to be is where you are.
My God, this is so ridiculous. I'm ready. Let me go cheat. Okay, I'm going to go cheat. Now take me back after I finish cheating.
I love it.
Where you are. Yeah, you're right. That is the chorus.
That is right. Ed, so what's going on with So in Stereo? Aside from the Ro James review, you're going to do a love letters for me soon. What's going on?
I've got a love letters for you coming up soon, and we'll get back to, hopefully in the next week, going back to our head-to-head series. And I can't remember who's on deck next, but go to soulandstereo.com and see who's on deck for the next version of head-to-head. I mean, we've got a ton of them kind of in the archives now, so if you're looking for your favorite artist, or if you want to represent for your favorite artist, just hit me up, and then maybe we can give you an opportunity to celebrate your artist while going head-to-head with your boy.
Nice. And Tom, with I Got Soul here, we've been doing a lot of interviews. I thought we were slowing down, but it doesn't seem like we are. I'm interviewing Lloyd next week. I know you got Anthony Hamilton. I think Kem is also in the mix. Just talking about what we have coming up.
I interviewed Big Ron DeVoe, which was fun. So we're trying to get Michael Bivins too. Two legends right there.
Yep.
I'm excited about Anthony Hamilton this week, man. One of my favorites. So we're not slowing down. We're going to keep going. So it's been fun.
Yep. So Zeplyn, Ed, Tom, I think that's it for this week. This has been a fun one. We're celebrating episode 99 here. Zeplyn,
99.
We might have to get you back for 100. so we can continue to talk about this. I know you still have a lot bottled up about LMA and Summer Walker and Kalani and all these people.
Keep the cap on it, please.
We gotta get into this female R&B conversation, man. I'm here for all of them right now.
I just listened to Kalani's album finally today, so I would love to go head to head with you on that.
Okay, all right.
So we'll have to get that done. So Zep, we might have to bring you back next week. But if
Let me know. You know I'm here.
But if the people are like throwing stones at us for bringing you on because you said Tory Lanez was top 5, then you know how it is. We're not going to bring you back.
Get ready, they coming.
I'm with it, man. I'm here for all the smoke.
All right, man. Well, you guys be safe, take care, and we'll talk again soon.
All right,
guys.
Thank
Peace.
you.